Iowa, a landlocked state in the upper Midwestern region of the United States. It borders the Mississippi River to the east and the Missouri River and Big Sioux River to the west, Wisconsin to the northeast, Illinois to the east and southeast, Missouri to the south, Nebraska to the west, South Dakota to the northwest, and Minnesota to the north. Iowa is the 26th largest in total area and the 31st most populous of the 50 U.S. states, with a population of 3.19 million. The state's capital, most populous city, and largest metropolitan area fully located within the state is Des Moines. During the 18th and early 19th centuries, Iowa was a part of French Louisiana and Spanish Louisiana. Its state flag is patterned after the flag of France. After the Louisiana Purchase, pioneers laid the foundation for an agriculture-based economy in the heart of the Corn Belt. In the latter half of the 20th century, Iowa's agricultural economy began to transition to a diversified economy of advanced manufacturing, processing, financial services, information technology, biotechnology, and green energy production. Politically, Iowa is notable for the Iowa caucuses, an influential event in national politics, as well as its high levels of voter turnout and foundational leadership in civil rights including early adoption or support of black suffrage. Iowa is a Midwestern state that serves as a bridge between the forests of the east and the grasslands of the high prairie plains to the west. Iowa is bounded by Minnesota to the north, Wisconsin and Illinois to the east, Missouri to the south, and Nebraska and South Dakota to the west. The Mississippi River makes up its entire eastern border, while the Missouri River and its tributary, the Big Sioux, form its western border. Iowa is a leading U.S. state in agriculture, with over 90% of its land devoted to farming. The capital of Iowa is Des Moines. Situated in the heart of the Corn Belt, Des Moines lies on the Des Moines River at its junction with the Raccoon River. It is the focus of Iowa's most populous metropolitan area, which includes the cities West Des Moines, Urbandale, and Pleasant Hill. Des Moines is a major communication hub and also a major insurance, retailing, manufacturing, governmental, and publishing center. The city is home to several educational institutions, including Drake University and Des Moines University Osteopathic Medical Center. Cultural institutions include the Civic Center, the Des Moines Arts Center, and the Science Center of Iowa. Iowa is known for its significant agricultural production. The state's main agricultural products are corn, maize, soybeans, hogs, and cattle. Iowa ranks among the leading states in the production of corn, soybeans, and hogs. Much of Iowa's agricultural production is exported, mainly to Canada, Mexico, and Japan. Agricultural production improved dramatically in Iowa in the 20th century with mechanization and the planting of hybrid crop species, as well as the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Iowa is mostly drained by the Mississippi River, with only the far western and south-central areas drained by the Missouri River. The Des Moines River flows in a southeasterly direction across the state, eventually joining the Mississippi River. The Iowa River runs through the center of Iowa, flowing southeastward before its confluence with the Mississippi River. The Cedar River is the Iowa River's main tributary. As of 2024, Iowa's estimated population is 3,241,488. The capital, Des Moines, is the state's largest city, with a population of 214,133 as of 2020. Des Moines is the center of Iowa's most populous metropolitan area, which includes West Des Moines, Urbandale, and Pleasant Hill. Cedar Rapids, located in east-central Iowa, is another of the state's largest cities, with a population of 137,710 as of 2020. Other significant cities in Iowa include Iowa City, Waterloo, and Sioux City. Iowa has significantly shaped the United States history and culture through its unique political traditions and agricultural contributions. Since 1972, Iowa's caucuses have been the first in the nation to select delegates for presidential nominating conventions, giving the state significant national political influence. As an agricultural state, Iowa is a leading producer of corn, soybeans, hogs, and cattle. This has greatly contributed to the nation's food supply and economy. The University of Iowa has also made its mark by being the first public university in the country to admit men and women on an equal basis. Its Iowa Writers Workshop and International Writing Program are world-renowned. Iowa is a landlocked state in the Midwestern United States, positioned near the geographic center of the country and forming part of a broader region often referred to as the American Midwest. It is surrounded by the states of Minnesota to the north, Wisconsin and Illinois across the Mississippi River to the east, Missouri to the south, and Nebraska and South Dakota to the west. Although it does not border any foreign countries, its location places it within a continental interior network of economic, cultural, and environmental systems that extend across North America. This central position has played a major role in shaping Iowa's identity as a state defined by agriculture, transportation connectivity, and rural landscapes rather than coastal trade or mountainous geography. The physical geography of Iowa is largely the product of ancient geological processes, especially the advance and retreat of glaciers during the ice ages. These glaciers flattened much of the terrain and deposited thick layers of fertile soil across the state, creating a landscape of gently rolling plains rather than dramatic mountains or deep valleys. In the northern and central regions, the land is especially flat and uniform, supporting large-scale agriculture. The southern part of the state is somewhat more varied, with deeper river valleys and loess hills formed by wind-deposited sediments. These subtle variations in topography influence land use, drainage patterns, and settlement distribution, although agriculture remains the dominant land function throughout the state. One of the most defining features of Iowa's geography is its river systems. The Mississippi River forms the entire eastern border of the state, serving as one of the most significant waterways in North America. It has historically functioned as a transportation corridor, trade route, and ecological boundary. Along its banks, cities such as Dubuque, Davenport, and Burlington developed as river ports, growing through commerce and industry tied to navigation and shipping. On the western edge of the state, the Missouri River forms part of the boundary with Nebraska and South Dakota, shaping floodplains and agricultural land while also influencing early exploration and settlement patterns. Within the interior of Iowa, several important rivers contribute to drainage, agriculture, and urban development. The Des Moines River flows through the central region and gives rise to the state capital, Des Moines, which is also the largest city in Iowa and a major center for government, finance, and insurance industries. The Cedar River and other tributaries further shape eastern Iowa's landscape, supporting both agricultural irrigation and municipal water systems. These rivers are essential not only for ecological balance but also for human settlement, as they provide water resources, fertile floodplains, and transportation corridors that have influenced development for centuries. In the northern part of the state, Iowa contains a distinctive lake region known for its glacial origins. This area includes natural lakes such as Spirit Lake and the interconnected Iowa Great Lakes system. These bodies of water were formed by glacial activity during the last ice age and now serve as important recreational, ecological, and tourism destinations. The region supports boating, fishing, and seasonal tourism, contrasting with the predominantly agricultural use of most of the state. Wetlands and surrounding habitats in this area also contribute to biodiversity and serve as critical stopover points for migratory birds along continental flyways. The climate of Iowa is classified as humid continental, characterized by hot summers, cold winters, and relatively evenly distributed precipitation throughout the year. Seasonal variation is pronounced, with winter temperatures often dropping below freezing and summer conditions becoming warm and humid. This climate supports the state's agricultural productivity, particularly for crops such as corn and soybeans, but also introduces environmental challenges. Severe thunderstorms are common in the warmer months, sometimes producing tornadoes, hail, and heavy rainfall. Flooding is another recurring issue, especially along major rivers where heavy precipitation or rapid snowmelt can overwhelm natural and engineered drainage systems. The dominance of agriculture in Iowa's geography is closely tied to its soils, which are among the most fertile in the world. Much of the state is covered by deep, nutrient-rich topsoil formed from glacial deposits and loess soils, particularly in western Iowa. These soils support intensive crop production and allow for high agricultural yields, making Iowa one of the most productive farming regions globally. Corn and soybeans dominate land use, forming the backbone of both the state's economy and its landscape identity. Large, rectangular fields reflect the influence of the public land survey system, which imposed a grid pattern on the land during early settlement and remains visible in modern aerial views. Agricultural practices in Iowa are highly mechanized and efficient, relying on large-scale farming operations and advanced technology. Livestock production, especially hogs and cattle, is integrated into the system, often using crops grown locally as animal feed. This creates a tightly connected agricultural economy but also introduces environmental pressures such as nutrient runoff and water pollution. As a result, conservation practices such as buffer strips, cover cropping, and soil management techniques have become increasingly important in maintaining long-term productivity and environmental health. The settlement geography of Iowa reflects its agricultural foundation. Early European American settlers established towns based on access to fertile land, water sources, and transportation routes. The introduction of railroads in the 19th century further shaped settlement patterns, connecting rural communities to national markets. Grain elevators became iconic features of the landscape, symbolizing the integration of agriculture and transportation infrastructure. Today, Iowa's towns and cities remain relatively evenly distributed, each serving as a service center for surrounding rural areas. Urban geography in Iowa is characterized by a network of mid-sized cities rather than a single dominant metropolitan center. The capital, Des Moines, serves as the political and economic hub of the state, with a strong concentration of insurance and financial industries. In eastern Iowa, Iowa City is known for its educational and cultural significance, largely due to the presence of a major university that shapes its demographic and economic profile. Other important cities include Cedar Rapids, a center for manufacturing and food processing, and Sioux City, which serves as a regional trade hub in the Northwest. Together, these cities form a decentralized urban system that supports the surrounding agricultural landscape. Transportation geography is essential to understanding Iowa's development. The state's flat terrain has facilitated the construction of extensive road, rail, and highway networks. Major interstate highways such as I-80 and I-35 intersect near Des Moines, reinforcing its role as a central transportation node. These highways connect Iowa to major national markets, enabling efficient movement of agricultural goods, manufactured products, and people. Rail networks continue to play an important role in freight transportation, particularly for grain and livestock shipments. This infrastructure reflects Iowa's role as a logistical bridge within the United States. Ecologically, Iowa once consisted largely of tall grass prairie, one of the most productive and diverse ecosystems in North America. Today, only small remnants of this prairie remain due to agricultural conversion. Conservation areas and protected sites preserve fragments of native grasses, wildflowers, and wildlife habitats. Wetlands, especially in northern Iowa, provide additional ecological diversity and support migratory bird populations. Forested areas are limited but exist along river valleys and in southeastern and northeastern regions, where they stabilize soils and provide wildlife corridors. Human modification of Iowa's environment has been extensive, transforming nearly all natural landscapes into agricultural or managed systems. While this has created extraordinary productivity, it has also led to ecological challenges such as habitat loss, soil erosion, and water contamination. In response, conservation programs and environmental restoration efforts aim to balance agricultural needs with ecological sustainability. These include wetland restoration, prairie reconstruction, and improved water management strategies. Energy geography has become increasingly important in recent decades, particularly with the expansion of wind power. Iowa is one of the leading states in wind energy production due to its open terrain and consistent wind patterns. Wind farms are distributed across rural areas and coexist with agricultural land, creating a dual-use landscape where energy production and farming occur simultaneously. This development reflects a broader shift in land use, where renewable energy infrastructure is integrated into traditional rural economies. Water management remains a central geographic challenge. The Mississippi, Missouri, Des Moines, and Cedar Rivers all require coordinated management to address flooding risks, water quality issues, and ecological health. Urban areas have developed extensive flood control systems, including levees, reservoirs, and drainage infrastructure. At the same time, there is increasing emphasis on working with natural hydrological processes through wetland restoration and floodplain management, rather than relying solely on engineered solutions. Cultural geography in Iowa is strongly tied to rural life, agricultural traditions, and community-based identities. Small towns and farming communities form the backbone of social organization, with local institutions such as schools, churches, and county fairs playing central roles in community life. These cultural patterns reflect the rhythm of agricultural seasons and reinforce the connection between people and land. At the same time, urban centers provide cultural diversity, education, and professional opportunities, creating a balance between rural continuity and urban development. Education also plays a significant role in shaping Iowa's geography. Universities and colleges serve as regional anchors that influence population distribution, economic activity, and cultural life. In cities like Iowa City, academic institutions shape urban form and create dynamic population patterns tied to the academic calendar. These institutions also contribute to research and innovation, particularly in agriculture, engineering, and healthcare, reinforcing Iowa's role as both a traditional and modern knowledge-based economy. Looking toward the future, Iowa's geography continues to evolve in response to technological, environmental, and demographic changes. Precision agriculture, renewable energy expansion, and improved water management systems are reshaping how land is used and managed. Rural depopulation in some areas contrasts with growth in regional urban centers, leading to shifts in settlement patterns and service distribution. Climate variability is also influencing agricultural practices and infrastructure planning, requiring adaptation to changing precipitation patterns and temperature trends. Despite these changes, Iowa's fundamental geographic identity remains stable. Its flat to gently rolling plains, fertile soils, and central continental location continue to define its role within the United States. It remains a highly interconnected landscape where natural systems and human activity are closely integrated. Rivers shape boundaries and water systems, soils support intensive agriculture, and transportation networks link rural and urban regions into a unified economic system. In conclusion, Iowa represents a distinctive example of Midwestern geography where physical environment and human development are deeply intertwined. From its glacially formed plains and rich river systems to its highly organized agricultural landscapes and distributed urban network, the state reflects both natural processes and centuries of human adaptation. Its cities, rivers, lakes, and farmlands form a cohesive system that supports one of the most productive agricultural economies in the world. At the same time, ongoing challenges related to environmental sustainability, climate change, and demographic shifts continue to shape its evolution. Iowa's geography is therefore not only a description of land and water but also a continuing story of interaction between nature, economy, and society across time. Thank you for watching this video.